When the lights go out and every sound in your house feels like a threat, the last thing you want is doubt in your ammo. For years, people laughed off the .22 long rifle as nothing more than a plinker. But in 2025, modern engineering has turned this tiny cartridge into a serious tool that can protect your home when it matters most. Today, we're breaking down the very best .22 long rifle rounds you can buy for home defense in 2025. And by the end, you'll see how one tiny round could be the difference between stopping an intruder or being out of options when it counts most. Number 10, Fiocchi Field Dynamics 40 grain CPRN CPHP Subsonic. Kicking off the list is a versatile family of loads from Fiocchi's Field Dynamics line, and while they're often marketed to hunters and high-volume shooters, they have traits that make them surprisingly viable for home defense. The standout option here is the 38 to 40 grain copper-plated hollow point, a bullet that balances penetration with expansion in a way many bulk .22 loads simply don't. Fiocchi has been in the ammo business since the late 1800s, and their rimfire line reflects that heritage. The Field Dynamics CPHP clocks in at around 1,250 feet per second, which is plenty of speed to cycle semi-autos reliably while still driving deep enough to matter in a defensive scenario. The copper plating helps reduce barrel fouling, which not only keeps accuracy consistent, but also helps with smoother feeding in pistols that are known to be picky with ammunition. One underrated advantage of Fiocchi's catalog is flexibility. Along with the CPHP, you'll find CPRN and subsonic variants, which means you can choose what fits your platform best. Subsonics pair well with suppressors, while CPRNs run clean and reliable if you value penetration over expansion. That level of choice is rare in .22 long rifle and makes Field Dynamics a more adaptable option than people give it credit for. Price is another reason it makes the cut. Compared to premium defensive rounds, Fiocchi offers affordable practice and carry options that don't compromise on function. For shooters looking to stockpile a reliable round that can double for defense, this Italian-engineered load earns its spot on the list. And if you thought Fiocchi's versatility was impressive, wait until you see number 9, a round that skips expansion entirely but still wins a place for one very surprising reason. Number 9, Norma TAC-22 40 grain lead round nose. At number 9, we have the Norma TAC-22, a round that proves you don't have to always need fancy hollow points to earn a place in a home defense kit. The TAC-22 is built with a 40 grain lead round nose projectile, and while it doesn't expand on impact, it makes up for that with penetration and consistency, two things that matter more than flashy marketing when you're dealing with the limited energy of rimfire ammo. Norma designated the TAC-22 primarily for training and competition, and that focus on accuracy shows. Out of rifles and carbines, groups are impressively tight at 50 yards, often outperforming more expensive defensive rounds in pure precision. In a home defense setting, where accuracy and shot placement often matter more than raw stopping power, that consistency translates into real-world confidence. Another key factor is reliability. The TAC-22 cycles smoothly in most semi-autos and runs exceptionally clean, reducing carbon and lead buildup that can cause misfeeds over time. When you consider that some of the most critical .22 failures happen in budget ammo due to inconsistent powder charges or poor priming, Norma's quality control helps the TAC-22 stand out. For those who prefer bolt-action or lever-action platforms, the round is equally dependable, making it a versatile option for shooters with mixed arsenals. It may not expand or fragment dramatically, but what it delivers is trust. And trust is exactly what you want at 3 in the morning when every shot counts. But while TAC-22 leans on penetration and reliability, the next round brings something different to the table, controlled expansion that turns a humble hollow point into a far more serious defense tool. Number 8. Browning Performance Rimfire 36 Grain CPHP. Sliding into the 8th spot is Browning's Performance Rimfire Copper-Plated Hollow Point, a round that manages to bridge the gap between bulk, plinking ammo, and premium defensive loads. At 36 grains, it's slightly lighter than some of the 40-grain options on this list, but the velocity it generates, around 1,280 feet per second, gives it an edge when it comes to delivering fast, controlled expansion. Browning didn't just slap their logo on this cartridge. Their Performance CPHP was built with consistency in mind. The copper plating helps minimize lead fouling, which is a big deal for those who run high volumes through semi-autos like the Ruger 1022 or Glock 44. Less fouling means cleaner barrels, smoother feeding, and fewer headaches during long training sessions. Where it earns defensive credibility is in terminal performance. The hollow point reliably mushrooms on impact, creating a wider wound channel than standard round-nose loads. For home defense, that expansion can make all the difference in stopping an intruder quickly, especially at close ranges where velocity remains high. The ammo also benefits from Browning's unique packaging. Instead of flimsy cardboard boxes, these come in sturdy plastic cases that keep rounds safe from moisture and make bulk storage simple. It's a small touch, but one that adds to its practicality for serious use. Value is another strong point. Performance CPHP often comes in at a lower price than comparable premium loads, making it accessible for shooters who want to train and defend with the same round. And while Browning earns its spot for balance and reliability, the next round dials things up with raw speed so high it helped redefine what the .22 long rifle was capable of. Number 7. CCI Stinger 32 Grain CPHP. Few rimfire rounds have the legacy of the CCI Stinger. First introduced in the late 1970s, it was designed to push the limits of what the .22 long rifle could do, and over 4 decades later, it still carries that reputation. The Stinger fires a lightweight 32-grain copper-plated hollow point at blistering speeds, around 1,640 feet per second out of a rifle barrel. That velocity makes it one of the hardest-hitting .22 long rifle rounds you can buy in 2025. The lightweight design, combined with a special powder load, means that Stinger transfers energy quickly. On soft targets, the hollow point expands aggressively, creating a larger wound channel than most standard .22 long rifle loads. While it doesn't always penetrate as deeply as heavier bullets, the explosive energy dump makes it a practical defensive choice at close ranges, especially in a home defense setting where overpenetration can be a concern. The Stinger's reliability is another reason it remains a favorite. Semi-automatics that struggle with bulk ammo often run the Stinger with ease, making it a dependable option for compact pistols and carbines alike. Accuracy is also impressive, with tight groups possible out to 50 yards or more, depending on the platform. While it comes at a higher cost than budget rimfire ammo, most shooters agree it's worth it for the performance. In 2025, the CCI Stinger continues to prove that a .22 doesn't have to be slow or underpowered. It can be fast, aggressive, and highly effective when chosen wisely. Number 6. Aguila 38 Grain CPHP. Aguila has become one of the most trusted names in rimfire ammunition, and their 38-grain copper-plated hollow point shows why. Manufactured in Mexico with strict quality control standards, this round has carved out a reputation for being both affordable and highly dependable, a combination that makes it attractive for shooters who want a defensive performance without paying premium prices. The 38-grain bullet sits in the sweet spot between lightweight, high-speed projectiles and heavier, slower options. At roughly 1,280 feet per second, it delivers enough velocity to expand reliably on soft targets while still keeping penetration in a range suitable for self-defense. In a home defense scenario, that balance matters. Expansion helps maximize stopping power, while controlled penetration reduces the risk of rounds passing through multiple barriers. Reliability is where Aguila really shines. Many rimfire pistols, especially compact carry-sized models, can be picky with ammo. The Aguila CPHP is known for smooth cycling and consistent ignition, even in platforms that struggle with cheaper bulk loads. Whether you're using a Ruger, Mark IV, a Smith & Wesson M&P 22 compact, or even a budget-friendly pistol, this round tends to feed and fire without drama. Another plus is its value. Sold in larger bulk packs, Aguila CPHP gives you the chance to train with the same round you might keep loaded for defense without draining your wallet. That familiarity, knowing your ammo cycles and hits exactly where you aim, is critical when you're relying on rimfire in a defensive role. Number 5. Winchester Super X 40 grain CPHP. Winchester's Super X line has been a staple in American shooting for nearly a century, and the 40-grain copper-plated hollow point remains one of the most reliable performers. While it's often associated with hunting small game, the same traits that make it effective in the field also make it a dependable choice for home defense. This round runs at about 1,280 feet per second, giving it both speed and weight. The heavier 40-grain profile ensures deeper penetration compared to lighter hollow points, while the copper plating keeps the bullet stable in flight and reduces barrel fouling. On impact, the hollow point design expands consistently, opening up a wound channel that strikes a balance between width and depth. For a rimfire round, that balance is exactly what you want when dealing with close quarters defense. One of the reasons the Super X continues to be trusted is its consistency across different firearms. Whether you're running a semi-automatic like the Ruger 1022, a lever action, or a compact pistol, the Super X cycles smoothly and maintains accuracy. That versatility means you can rely on it no matter what platform you keep for home defense. Affordability is another strength. The Super X is widely available and priced accessibly, which makes it easy to stock up and train with the same round you might load for protection. In 2025, it stands out as one of the few defensive-capable .22 long rifle options that balances cost, availability, and proven field performance. Number 4. Fiocchi Field Dynamics 38 grain CPHP. Fiocchi's Field Dynamics 38 grain copper-plated hollow point has become one of the most underrated performers in the rimfire world. While many shooters overlook Fiocchi in favor of bigger U.S. brands, this Italian-made round offers reliability and terminal performance that easily puts it on par with the competition. Moving at around 1,250 feet per second, the 38 grain CPHP hits the ideal velocity range for expansion. On impact, the hollow point mushrooms cleanly, creating a wider wound channel than standard round-nose bullets, while still driving deep enough to matter in defensive scenarios. That combination of controlled expansion and steady penetration makes it a strong choice for close-quarters use inside the home. Another strength of Fiocchi's design is consistency. The copper plating minimizes barrel fouling, which helps maintain accuracy during extended shooting sessions and improves feeding in semi-automatic pistols and carbines. Shooters who've tested this load often report fewer misfeeds and stovepipes compared to cheaper bulk hollow points. Fiocchi also offers their rounds in well-sealed packages, an advantage for long-term storage. For those who like to keep extra ammunition on hand for emergencies, that added durability helps ensure your ammo will still perform years down the line. Affordable, effective, and overlooked by many, the Fiocchi 38 grain CPHP earns its spot near the top of the list. It's a reminder that when it comes to rimfire defense, sometimes the best options are the ones that quietly deliver without hype. Number 3. Norma Hunter 22 Power 40 grain hollow point. Norma has long been known for precision ammunition, and the Hunter 22 Power is one of their standout rimfire designs. Built with a 40 grain hollow point projectile, This round combines weight, speed, and accuracy in a way that makes it far more than a small game load. At roughly 1,263 feet per second, it has the velocity to expand on impact, but because it retains its mass, it also penetrates deep enough to meet defensive standards. What sets the 122 Power apart is its consistency in performance. Norma engineered it with tight tolerances and clean burning powder, so every shot delivers uniform ballistics. That translates into impressive accuracy from rifles and carbines, with tight groups at 50 yards and beyond. In a defensive scenario, that kind of reliability ensures every round lands where it needs to. The hollow point design isn't overly aggressive, which means it avoids the problem of shallow penetration that plagues some lightweight .22 defensive rounds. Instead, it mushrooms in a controlled way, delivering both expansion and depth. That makes it a versatile option for those who want ammunition that performs well across multiple platforms, from compact pistols to full-length rifles. Availability is another benefit. Unlike some boutique defensive rounds, 122 Power is increasingly easy to find on shelves, and its price remains reasonable. For shooters who want to qualify without paying collector-level premiums, it's an excellent middle ground. But there's a round coming that throws balance out the window. It was created with only one purpose, and it shows the moment you pull the trigger. Number 2, CCI Uppercut 32 grain Jacketed Hollow Point. The CCI Uppercut is one of the most recent additions to the defensive .22 long rifle lineup, and it doesn't try to hide what it was built for. Unlike older loads repurposed for hunting or target shooting, the Uppercut was designed from the start as a personal protection round, tuned to deliver expansion and penetration in a way that rimfire skeptics never thought possible. At 32 grains, it might sound light compared to the traditional 40 grain loads, but that weight is intentional. Moving at high velocity from both rifles and short-barrel pistols, the projectile's jacketed hollow point design allows it to open reliably while still carrying forward enough mass to drive deep. The jacket is thickened compared to many hollow points in this caliber, which means it doesn't shred apart instantly, but instead peels back and mushrooms with control. That balance is what makes it a serious contender for defensive use inside the home. Reliability is another area where the Uppercut shines. CCI has long been known for producing rimfire ammunition with excellent ignition consistency, and this load continues that tradition. In compact pistols like the Ruger LCP2 Light Rack or the Taurus TX22 Compact, the Uppercut cycles smoothly without the hiccups that plague cheaper ammunition. That kind of dependability matters more than ballistics charts when lives are on the line. It's not the cheapest round on the shelf, but its performance justifies the investment. CCI has managed to take a caliber often dismissed as a backup and give it teeth, proving that with the right engineering, rimfire can absolutely step into the defensive role. But yet there's still one more round that finishes the list, the one designed to punch far deeper than anyone expects from a .22, even through barriers most rimfire could never handle. Number 1, Federal Premium Personal Defense Punch 29 grain Flat Nose. At the very top sits a cartridge that changed the way shooters think about rimfire defense. The Federal Punch was built from the ground up for one mission: personal protection. Instead of trying to copy centerfire hollow points, Federal's engineers went in a different direction, creating a 29 grain nickel-plated flat-nose projectile designed to do something most .22 long rifle rounds never could: consistently penetrate to defensive standards. Clocking at over 1,070 feet per second, even from short-barrel pistols, the Punch delivers what other rimfire rounds often fail to do: depth. The flat-nose design doesn't deform or fragment. Instead, it drives forward with momentum, punching through heavy clothing layers, drywall, and soft barriers while still reaching the FBI's minimum penetration benchmarks in ballistic gel. That level of consistency transforms the .22 long rifle from a last resort into a viable choice for those who need controllable, low-recoil defense options. The cartridge case itself is nickel-plated, which isn't just for looks. That slick surface ensures smooth feeding and reliable extraction, even in semi-automatic pistols with tighter tolerances. When paired with popular defensive rimfire platforms like the Ruger LCP2 Light Rack, Smith & Wesson M&P 22 Compact, or Taurus TX22, the punch delivers what it was engineered to run, without hesitation. Federal also managed to keep it accessible. Despite its specialized design, it's widely available and priced within reach of everyday shooters. In 2025, no other rimfire round blends penetration, reliability, and proven defensive design as effectively as the punch. Check out our next video where we reveal the deadliest .22 long rifle rounds available in America today.